Sargon of Akkad, often hailed as the world's first emperor, rose from obscurity to forge one of the earliest known empires in history. His conquests and legacy laid the foundation for future civilizations and kings, making him one of the most legendary figures of the ancient world. Here is the remarkable story of Sargon's life and his rise to power in the cradle of civilization. Sargon was born around 2334 BCE in the region of Mesopotamia, a land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, known for being the birthplace of the earliest urban societies. Unlike later kings who were born into royalty, Sargon's origins were humble, and his early life is shrouded in legend. According to Sumerian legends, Sargon's mother was a temple priestess, and because of her station, she could not keep him. In a striking parallel to the biblical story of Moses, Sargon was placed in a basket and sent down the Euphrates River as an infant. He was found and raised by Aki, a gardener for the king of the Sumerian city-state of Kish. As Sargon grew, he became a trusted servant of King Baba of Kish. He eventually rose to the rank of cupbearer, a prestigious position in the royal court, giving him proximity to power. However, Sargon's ambitions went far beyond serving the king. According to legend, a prophetic dream alarmed Baba, causing him to attempt to have Sargon killed. However, Sargon escaped and seized the opportunity to take control of his destiny. Around 2334 BCE, Sargon began his campaign of conquest. His first major victory was the defeat of Lugal-Zagai, the king of Uruk, who had united much of Sumer under his rule. In a decisive battle, Sargon's forces captured Uruk, the largest city in the region, and took Lugal-Zagai as a prisoner. This victory marked the beginning of Sargon's empire. After securing Uruk, Sargon turned his attention to the other Sumerian city-states. Sumer was a land of rival city-states like Lagash, Eridu, and Nippur, each ruled by powerful kings. Through a combination of military might and political alliances, Sargon conquered these city-states one by one, consolidating them into a single realm. His military success was due in part to his well-trained standing army, a rarity in an era when armies were often formed only in times of war. By the end of his conquests in Sumer, Sargon declared himself King of Sumer and Akkad, uniting the two regions and marking the birth of the Akkadian Empire. His rise from servant to king was unprecedented, and his new empire stretched from the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean Sea. Sargon's empire wasn't just a collection of conquered city-states, it was the world's first multinational empire, stretching over a vast region of Mesopotamia and beyond. He established his capital at the city of Akkad, or Agade, though its exact location remains a mystery to archaeologists today. The Akkadian Empire was remarkable for its time. Sargon implemented a centralized system of governance, appointing loyal governors, known as Ensi, to oversee different regions. He also maintained a standing army, which allowed him to protect his empire from external threats and quell internal rebellions. To legitimize his rule and reinforce his power, Sargon proclaimed himself as the divinely chosen ruler, claiming the favor of the goddess Ishtar, Inanna, in Sumerian mythology, the goddess of war and fertility. His rule was also marked by significant cultural and economic achievements. Under Sargon, Akkadian became the official language of administration, replacing Sumerian. This cultural shift helped unify the diverse peoples of his empire under a single linguistic and administrative system. Sargon fostered trade and diplomacy, establishing trade routes that extended from the Indus Valley in the east to Anatolia and Egypt in the west. These routes brought goods such as timber, metals, and precious stones into the Akkadian heartland, enriching the empire. Despite his early successes, Sargon's reign was not without challenges. As his empire expanded, so did the difficulties of governing such a vast and diverse territory. Rebellions became a constant threat, as the conquered peoples of Sumer and other regions sought to regain their independence. One of the most significant rebellions occurred in Sumer, where some of the city-states rose up against Akkadian rule. However, Sargon's military prowess allowed him to suppress these uprisings. He reportedly boasted that he had washed his weapons in the sea, symbolizing the extent of his conquests and his ability to quash rebellions across the empire. His legacy of relentless control earned him the nickname Sargon the Great. After a reign of about 56 years, Sargon died, likely in 2279 BCE, leaving his empire to his successors. His sons, Rimush and Manishtushu, inherited the throne but struggled to maintain the empire's unity. Internal rebellions and external pressures soon threatened Akkad's stability, and though Sargon's dynasty lasted for a few more generations, it eventually crumbled under his grandson, Naram-Sin. Even after the fall of the Akkadian Empire, Sargon's legacy endured. He became a legendary figure, and future Mesopotamian kings revered his name. His empire was the first of its kind, and many rulers throughout history, from the Babylonian kings to the Persian emperors, looked to Sargon's achievements as a model for their own rule. Sargon of Akkad's empire set a precedent for future empires in several key ways. Centralized governance. Sargon's system of governors and a central capital provided a blueprint for managing a large and diverse territory. His administration became a model for later empires like Babylon and Assyria. Cultural integration. By making Akkadian the official language and spreading Akkadian culture, Sargon helped create a sense of shared identity across his empire. This blend of Sumerian and Akkadian cultures influenced the development of Mesopotamian civilization for centuries. Trade and diplomacy. Sargon's trade networks linked his empire with distant regions, fostering economic growth and cultural exchange. His diplomatic efforts ensured alliances and the flow of resources across his vast empire. Military innovations. Sargon's standing army and use of chariots and archers helped him maintain control over his empire and defeat rival states. These military innovations were adopted and refined by later empires. Sargon's rise from humble beginnings to the ruler of the world's first empire is one of the most inspiring and legendary stories of the ancient world. His empire, though short-lived, laid the groundwork for the great civilizations of Babylonia, Assyria, and later empires that dominated the Near East. In many ways, Sargon represents the dawn of a new era in human history, the Age of Empires. His life and reign continue to be studied and admired for their historical significance and lasting influence on the political and cultural development of the ancient world. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to increase your brain power, check the links in the description.